Welcome to Response to Literature Lesson 9. You should see the step lesson in front of you that says Response to Literature 9. You should have a pen or pencil, and you should also have your Lupita Mignana books ready to go. Let's start by putting our name on our paper, today's date. Today is the 27th of March. And go ahead and put your English period on your paper. Once you have that, please remember the champs while you're working on the computers. Conversation level is a volume level 0. If you need help, please raise your hand and wait patiently for the teacher. The activity is Response to Literature 9 and reading Chapter 8 today. The movement, again, is to raise your hand or use hand signals and wait patiently for the teacher. I'll know you're participating if I see you writing or tracking in your book as you read, and I see your headphones on. Let's look at today's objective before we move on to the do now. Today I am identifying 6 levels of questions on Chapter 8 of Lupita Mignana so that I can increase my depth of understanding when reading. I will know I have met the objective when I can correctly identify the levels of at least 4 out of 6 questions. Okay, so what we're doing today, our action verb is identifying, and what we're identifying are the 6 levels of questions. I know that we've been identifying levels of questions for a couple of weeks now, so I'm pretty confident in my ability to do this. However, I haven't read Chapter 8 yet, so I probably need to wait until after the lesson to be able to complete it. Because while I can identify levels of questions, I can't do it for Chapter 8. So I'm going to give myself a 2, just because I haven't read Chapter 8 yet. After I finish Chapter 8, I will definitely be able to complete the objective. Go ahead and make sure you have bubbled in your current level of understanding and get ready to move on to question number 2. Great. Number 2. Use editing marks to revise the following sentence. Then write the corrected sentence on the lines below. I wonder if Lupita and Salvador is gonna get caught by La Migra, thought Jose. Go ahead and hit pause. Make sure you write down all of your corrections and then get ready to review and check them with mine. Phew, that was a lot of corrections. Go ahead and check and see if you got all of the corrections that were there. Hopefully you were working hard. All right, we want to make sure we capitalize I when we rewrite it because it needs to be capital because it's the beginning of a sentence. We also want to capitalize Lupita and Salvador. Those are both proper nouns because they're names. Wonder is spelled incorrectly. The way we spell wonder is W-O-N-D-E-R. Please make sure you have it spelled correctly when you rewrite it. Also, it's not is going because there's more than one. So it needs to be a plural verb, which is are. I wonder if Lupita and Salvador are. And gonna is not a word, so that is spelled incorrectly. We need to change it to going. We also need to insert a preposition to. I wonder if Lupita and Salvador are going to get caught by La Migra. Right there, we're going to pause, and so therefore we need a comma. Thought Jose. We're also showing that everything to this side of the comma is what Jose was thinking. Jose is another proper noun. We need to capitalize it. It's a name. And then we need to insert a period because it is a statement. Make sure you have all of these corrections and that you are writing it on these lines. Once you have these corrections written on the line, then you are ready to move on to question number 3. Please hit pause if you need to. Great. Let's look at question number 3. It says, identify each of the following sentence types as simple sentences, compound sentences, or complex sentences. I think the easiest thing to do, of course, is to make ourselves a little key or a cheat sheet. So, a simple sentence. It's so easy because it's just one independent clause. Remember, one independent clause just has one subject and one predicate. Okay? A compound sentence, we know from compound words, it means putting 2 things together. So a compound sentence is just 2 independent clauses put together. They can be put together with a conjunction, with a semicolon. Those are the most common ways to put them together. Or a complex. Oh, complex. You are so complex because you're needy, right? So that means we have one dependent, but we have to have one independent because it has to be able to be a sentence somehow on its own. So we need that one independent clause with a dependent clause. All right, now we're ready to look at our sentences and decide what type they are. Sentence number 1, I have 87 B dots. Who is this sentence about? What's our subject? I is the subject. What does the subject do? What's its action? The subject has 87 B dots. So I see one subject and one predicate. That tells me it's one independent clause. If I look at my little cheat sheet, I automatically know it's a simple sentence. Excellent. All right, so let's look at sentence 2. After I earn 100 B dots, I'm going to buy free dress. Okay, let's look at our subjects. I see I and I again. So we have two subjects. I automatically know it can't be as simple because I have two subjects. Okay? The first time, I'm telling you, I earn 100 B dots. The second time, I am is our verb, going to buy free dress. So I have two clauses. Okay, I'm going to buy free dress. That could be a sentence by itself. That's an independent clause. So I have one independent clause. So let's look at our other clause. I earn 100 B dots. Okay, that could be a sentence too, but I have this extra word right here, after. After I earn 100 B dots. What will happen? I don't know because the sentence isn't done. So that means it's a dependent clause, and if I have one dependent and one independent, that makes it a complex. That after makes it so needy. So I'm going to write complex. Sentence 3. I could go to Final Friday, or I can go to a birthday party. Let's see. What are my subjects? I and I. I could go to Final Friday. Could go to Final Friday is one predicate. And the second one is can go to a birthday party. So we have two subjects and two predicates. Our extra word, or, that's part of fanboys. B-O-Y. O stands for or. So I know this is a conjunction. Conjunctions just hook up things. They don't make anything dependent. So that means it's a compound sentence. Now that you have an example of each type of sentence, I would like you to try the last two on your own. You need to tell me what type of sentence is this and what type of sentence is this. Look at your sentences, circle your subjects, underline your predicates. If there's any words left over, think about what that means. Okay, I know you can do it. Please do the last two independently. At the bottom, for a bonus, you can turn one of the compound sentences into two simple sentences. Go ahead and try at this time. Hit pause so that you can work it out.
Please turn to Chapter 8 and follow along before moving on to direct instruction.